Hey guys, welcome back to another Daily Dose of Done. Today we're going to talk about vitality. Vitality is your health, and everything that we do is relative to our health. The things that we consume, whether it's the things that we eat, the things that we watch, the things that we do on our phone, the things that we read, the things that we talk about, all of that has to do and affects our vitality. Today was a very, very monumental day for me. I got a chance to actually spend the day with Wim Hof, a big legend in the vitality community and the breathwork community and cold exposure, and it was just it was empowering to be with him and see his insight. He's more than just, hey, just breathe, and he's a funny guy too. He has a lot of different little jokes, and one of the jokes I'd like to tell you, but it's pretty long, but it is really funny. I'm definitely going to tell a lot of other people. But it was a wonderful experience. I met some wonderful people, and it's nice to go to these kinds of things because you meet like-minded individuals, and it's cool to be in a community, in a fellowship of people that share the same values and the same insights and the same kind of goals and open-mindedness to just different things that are going to improve your vitality, right? So eating healthy, speaking healthy, not speaking gossip, not speaking toxic. There's a lot of things with politics and religion and a lot of things that people have their opinions, and you should be strong in your convictions. But some of the things that we talk about, if you're not going to be able to share your political views or your religious views and do it in a way that is open-minded, doesn't mean you have to agree with somebody else. But if the way in which you convey those thoughts and beliefs is in an aggressive and toxic manner, then it's not really achieving the goal that you might be intending. And it doesn't really put people in a position to want to see things your way, because if the entire message is very aggressive, then it's off-putting. So the ways that we handle ourselves, the way that we take care of ourselves, a lot of the people that I've met today struggled with inflammation. They had lots of various things that were plaguing them, their health. A couple people who had cancer, some who currently have cancer, and a lot of people have found their healing through breath work and cold exposure. It's amazing what we can do for our bodies on a physiological level. And Wim today kept joking a lot about, I'm a great salesman because I sell cold and air. And I'm selling it. So many other companies are selling bad stuff for you. They're selling, drugs, or they're selling preservatives, and they're selling to increase shelf life, and seed oils, and they don't care if they're poisoning the populace as long as it's bringing in an almighty dollar. And then you wonder if these high corporate executives would be giving their kids the same things and letting their kids eat the things that they're making all this money off of. And I think we already know the answer to that is a resounding no. So being mindful of, the ingredients that you eat, what you're putting into your body is your temple. If you haven't tried Wim Hof's method, or even just the hyperventilating breath work, it can be transformative for a lot of people. Today, I had that experience. I've done it before in the past, so I knew kind of what to expect. But every time I do it, it's not always as consistent. I think with repetition, you can build consistency to get to that space and that place that you really want to be. Initially, it is very tasking. It's very difficult. It's kind of hard on the body a little bit, where it's almost this part of uncomfortability. It's like, do I want to push through and continue to be uncomfortable, or do I just take it easy? Because if I'm just right there, I'm not challenging myself too much. It feels good. I'm still getting good breath and good air and good, consumption. But if I really want to go to the next level, then for me, I have to find that balance and that consistency, that rhythm that's like, when you hyperventilate your body like that and you're not really pushing it out. And I'm going to do a video too. My girlfriend and I talked about doing a video and just doing a breathwork video to kind of give our version of how we like to do Wim Hof. But you really want to pull in about 90%, and then you let your diaphragm naturally push the air out. But without it pushing all the way out, I pull more in and I push out, and it's coming out. I pull more in, and then it goes out. I pull more in, and it goes out. So at certain points, when you keep doing this, I feel like I'm more than 100% oxygenated, but you can start to feel it in your extremities. You start to feel these tingly feelings, and then you start literally feeling your alkalining and alkalizing your blood. And I get these things that when I know I'm doing it really good, I get these things that I guess they're called like lobster claws or something like that. I can't my hands, you know, if I'm just sitting like this while I'm breathing, my hands start to cramp up. It's almost feel like I'm like stroking out, and like, and then I can't pry them open. Like they're like this in both hands, and then I can't, for the life of me, expand them. And at first, when that happened, I was at Breathe Degrees in Carlsbad, and I had shared that with the instructor, and she said, "Oh, that means you're doing good. That means you're basically calcifying your blood, but like in a healthy, positive way. Like it's not something it didn't last all day. It lasted for maybe 60 seconds, you know, while we were finishing the breath. But it's inspiring, and then the way that you feel, it's intoxicating. And as Wim says, you know, you're getting high on your own supply, which is cool too, because the fact that I'm on zero drugs, I'm on zero inhibitors, I'm on zero anything. I'm literally just oxygenating my own blood. And the research that has been done behind this is mind blowing. From what he's been able, you know, being injected with a neurotoxin and then being able to, I think it was E. coli that he got injected with, and was able to, with breath work, control his adrenal glands and adrenaline to push that out, and essentially cure himself, and have his immune system fight off and ward off that uh, bacteria so that he didn't have any symptoms. I mean, how many people can say that they can do that? And then they're like, oh, it's just you. And he was able to prove it with tests and teaching other people. And then they did the same thing. So I know I talked about this in the last video, but it's just really impressive. And so getting a chance to meet him today, I'll post some pictures and stuff. Like I got a couple pictures with them, some videos. I was right up front, as opposed to the one I went before where I'm out in like the stands. This one I was up close and personal, and it was also cool. He hopped into my bath with me. Well, it kind of sounds a little funny when I say it that way, but we did an ice bath with like 14 people, and yeah, I was about to get out of mine, and then he hopped on in. I was like, oh, I'm gonna stay a little bit longer. So everybody did 3 minutes today, but I did almost six. It was just a cool experience. You know, it was cool. Cool, I guess, pun intended. Cool to be with a lot of cool people, make some friends. One of the guys, Hugo, I'm gonna be hanging out with. He lives right down the street from me, so it's just, you know, God and the universe put people in your pathway that it's good to have good friends like that, and people that you know that are quality people that have good energy that you wouldn't mind spending your time with, because you're going to talk about the kind of stuff that's worthwhile, and not the stuff that's a waste of time and a waste of energy. So it's just nice to be on this trajectory and this path of positivity, seeing, meeting, experiencing wonderful things, and all in all is a wonderful thing. But I think vitality is the goal with this, because with your breath, you know, I've said this before in the previous one, we're a bunch of shallow breathers. We're huddled over our phones. We're not getting qualitative breaths. The more present you are, and there's been times in my past where I'd already had Wim Hof's method in my life, but I'm stressed out and I'm just beside myself, and I don't want to implode. And this hasn't happened recently, but in the past, that's how I used to get through things. And I would go to my car, I'd go to the other room, and I would just do like one round, honestly, of Wim Hof, just that hyperventilation. And then before you know it, things just, I start kind of feeling the tinglies, and then I just kind of start feeling it, clears my head. And then you just hold your breath, you squeeze, and then you let it go. And as you let it go, you let it go. Whatever that issue was, you can let it go. And it's, I know it might sound so easier than said than done, and it sounds all foo-foo, but like, you don't know it until you try it. You can't knock it. I mean, you can knock it, you can knock whatever you want, but you shouldn't knock it until you try it, because it's transformed a lot of people's lives. And so when you're out here spreading messages of positivity, you know, connectedness, instead of, you know, separatists, it's good qualitative time spent. And Wim's ideology is a little utopian, and maybe a little far-fetched and hard for us to accomplish, but if there's enough people that believe in connectedness and us sharing positive messages with each other, he's not trying to impose anything on us that's bad for us, or trying to give opinions that are having anyone dislike other people. He's all about love, and he constantly said that today too. It's all about love. Love will win everything, and maybe that could be what my next video is about. But right now, vitality. You know, life is your breath force, and that breathing that in, using your lungs to bring all of that oxygen in, that then fuels your blood, that allows your heart to pump that blood through you, so, and pump it to your mind, so your mind can be fully functioning and kind of open up that next space of your mind. which is another thing that on the brain scans that they had done while testing him, and found that his brain was operating in a capacity, accessing parts of his brains that people typically don't, just through breath work. So from a physiological level, it's, I would say it's what God intended for us, is to really look internally, look at our breath. We look for all these outside factors to fix us or to heal us or to give us, our identity, and it all resides within us, regardless of your cultural bias or your religious bias. I'm a Christian, and for me, it's like the Holy Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit resides within us. So there's that part inside me. If you don't believe in that, even your soul, I mean, it's within you. So speak to that. Let that come out. You are the observer of this reality, and in this vessel that you are within it holds your life force. It holds your ability to remain here on this planet until your soul moves on to the next plane of existence, back to source energy, back to the right hand of God, whatever it is that you believe in. But while you're here, you should make the most of it. Make the most of the time with the people that you have. Search for vitality. Be mindful of what you're putting into your body. That's why I stopped drinking, because I realized it's just not bringing me anything positive in my life. I would spend Friday drinking. Saturday, I'm hungover. I get nothing done. I'm not spending quality time with my son. Sunday kind of carries into that. And then Monday, back on the grind. So one of my favorite quotes, I don't even know who said it, but it's something that I say a lot too, and I wholeheartedly agree with it, is use the weekends to build the life that you want, not escape the life that you have. And that's what I found that I was doing before, is I was just weekend party, especially if I didn't have my son. I'm like, well, let's go party. Let's go meet new people. Let's go meet new girls, because I was single. And so that was kind of my life. And now so much of the goals that I had got put on the back burner or just extended. Things that I could have done in 6 months wouldn't get done in 6 years, because it wasn't a priority. When was I going to have time to do that? Monday through Friday when I'm busy working. The weeknights on the days that I'm done working and I'm exhausted, and then maybe I have my son, I want to spend time with him. And then the weekends I do have him, I'm spending time with him. So that means the only time I could, in theory, really hone down on something and get something accomplished that is on my to-do list or on my vision board might be every other weekend when I don't have him and I'm spending that partying. So now, just focusing, taking my goals serious, not partying, not drinking, not doing drugs, and also just being more healthy without not just the drinking part of it, but what I'm putting in my body. I'm eating healthier. I'm not eating crap. I'm not eating sugars. I'm not eating pork anymore. It's fascinating, just the clarity that I have and the happiness and joy. And I've always been full of gratitude, so that hasn't changed, but it's given me even more to be grateful for, because I'm killing it in these other aspects. And I'm doing things, I've accomplished more in this past month than I have, honestly, in the past like 2 or 3 years. Bought a business recently, and so that'll be opening up soon. And then this weekend, I spent about 8 hours deploying my OpenClaw AI bot. And so I have a lot. I'll probably put some videos on that. That's kind of very, very cool and exciting. I've been doing my 3D prints. I started college. I don't even think most people even know that, but I didn't graduate from college, and it's just something I see a lot of other people do it. They get older, and I see that they're, achieving their goals, and it's inspiring. And so I thought, what, why not? I've always wanted to have a college degree. And what's funny is I love that I'm doing it just for me. There's no other purpose. My job's not going to pay me more. There's absolutely no reason for me to go to college and get a degree, other than just it's going to make me feel good. It's just another thing that I'm putting my mind to that I'm going to achieve. And so I did that too. I'm already, I think I was coming into Friday, I was 19% done with my first course, and now I'm 48% done. So I'm almost halfway done with my first course. So it's when you can work at your own pace and you have the grind and that mentality, you can get stuff done. So I encourage you to be focused on your vitality. Be mindful of what you put in your mouth. Be mindful of what you put in your mind. Be mindful of what you do with your body, because every place that you place your energy, every time that you place your mind, your effort, you put something bad inside your body, you're welcoming in disease, dis-ease, and disease. So you can choose better. And if you're doing great, then keep doing great, because you already know. I'm preaching to the choir on that. Then if you're already making these decisions, then you already know. You can attest. The better the decisions you make, the better your life becomes, and your trajectory and what you could accomplish is way more vast than what you would be if you were taking, shortcuts or not taking it serious and kind of putting it off, or I'll do it when it's convenient. That's just going to put you on a thing of coulda, woulda, coulda, shouldas, that path. So it's important to be present, live in the moment, do fun stuff. And if fun stuff for you is drugs and alcohol, well, then so be it. I guess, if you're doing it in moderation, to each his own. But I've just found that for me, partying is not getting me where I want to be in life. And I have a very successful life. Even if I did go back to partying or, was doing that, it's not like I was doing nothing. It's not like I was a bad person, or, I was still handling my responsibility. I'm still taking care of business, but you can always be better. And I think that's what it is. It's not to be better than other people. It's to be better than the version of myself that I've left behind. It's for future me to look back and go, thank you for taking things seriously when you did, because now look at our life. Now you're not having to clock in and clock out. Not that I clock in and clock out, but you're not having to work for the almighty dollar. Your dollar's working for you. Your businesses have compounded and transformed, and now you own multiple businesses, and you're doing all this stuff, and you can now travel in the world and not have to think about anything. You don't have to answer to anybody. That's the goal. Escape the rat race. And how do you escape the rat race? How do you get there? Well, you got to put your mind to stuff. You got to start utilizing AI to help achieve those goals. You got to start buying businesses. You got to start investing. You got to start reading. You got to get your education. You got to know what you're doing. Partying is not, I mean, I guess in some people, partying could get you that. You meet the right people while partying, and then maybe you guys go on an adventure together. I mean, that's where God comes in, I think, is if it's meant to be, it'll be. But I like how I feel making healthier decisions. And so that's what I'm going to continue to do. And it's exciting to see where I'm going. Oh, yeah, the other thing, too, is the stock trading. My girlfriend and I stock trade every day. So I wasn't doing that. I wanted to do that for the longest time. And I've always looked at the markets, but never really got into it. And now I'm actually, this entire last month, the past 30 days, nothing but profitable. I haven't had one red day. So there's something to be said about that, because I'm taking my education with the stock market seriously. Getting up every morning at 3:30 and trading pre-market and analyzing stocks and getting on the scanners and looking for, high momentum, low float, small cap stocks that are trading in pre-market to get some pops. But if any of this resonated with you, feel free to, drop a comment, and I appreciate you guys being here with me, and we'll catch you on the next week's episode. Thanks.